Today's episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All Season 365 podcast. Be sure to follow us on X, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify channels. Our ultimate goal here is to connect as many coaches as possible, not just here in North Carolina, but across the country. Today, we have a special guest. We have Coach Terrance Gant, linebacker coach and director of player development and pro liaison at Brevard College in Brevard, North Carolina. Coach, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, appreciate you for making time to hop on. For those who don't know, coach is very busy with his collegiate schedule, so for him to break time to talk a little bit of ball with us, we truly appreciate it. Absolutely, coach. Thank you for that. So before we get into today's linebacker talk, give our listeners a quick snapshot of your career journey to this point.
For me, it was I retired from the military in 2011. Got out, and a guy that I played ball with was looking for coaches, and I just moved in the area, and I got my start. I was supposed to be a freshman coach, and was there all spring, there all summer, and then the defensive coordinator needed to have knee replacement surgery. So was thrown in as a varsity DC that first year, and it's just been a climb since then. I've spent time from 2011 to 2016. I was in Arizona. Then from 2017 to 2025, I was in California, and last year was my first year here in North Carolina.
Okay, well, welcome here to the Tar Heel State. Hopefully we've been treating you quite well. There's a lot of stuff to do here, from the beach to the mountains and everything in between. So there's always something going on here in North Carolina.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get used to the winters, but
yeah, that's going to take some getting used to. In addition to that, we also have very hot summers as well. So yeah, man, get used to it. Absolutely. So all right, Coach. Well, the floor is yours. Feel free to share your thoughts about the linebacker position. Any key points. Our audience is very grassroots. We have athletes that listen to our show. We have high school coaches. We have college coaches. So anytime we have a chance to have a college coach to share, wisdom about the position, we have all ears. So, Coach, the floor is yours.
So the big thing with me is footwork. That's where I normally start, because linebacker it's a footwork driven position. So where we start with the shuffle, and it's a easy thing to do. Everybody thinks it's easy, and you watch kids shuffle and they're clicking their heels and they're hopping. And so the biggest way I teach them is I call it stab and grab. So I'm stabbing for grass, I'm grabbing for grass, I'm pushing off the back foot, stab, push. So it's a step replace. So if I was looking at my footwork, I'm looking at it, I'm step, 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 step. And I'm never getting outside of my base, because I teach them all the time, especially for this younger generation. They play Madden, they play NCAA. Hey, stay in the Madden circle. Once you come outside of your Madden circle, bad things start happening. So that's where we initially start. I coach guys, stay in your shuffle until you have to come out of it. That one keeps you in a power base. We preach, start in power, stay in power, right? If I'm in that shuffle, I'm in a power base to where I can tackle, I can take on blocks, and then I can accelerate out of it. Then the next thing we teach is a scrape, which is pretty much just a crossover run. So my shoulders are staying square and my hips are turning and I'm crossing over running. What I kind of equate that to, I was like, if you have an old moment, you need to start scraping. So we're shuffling, we're scraping, and then the last thing we teach is shooting, right? And that's when I'm all out sprinting, I'm running to the ball. So if you're anytime I tell a linebacker, if you're in a shoot situation, like, you better be balls to the wall going to get the ball. right? That's the only time you should come out of your shuffle or your scrape.
Mm.
And that's where we start at.
Mm.
And it was interesting, this spring, we just finished spring ball 2 weeks ago. We spent 2.5 weeks on indie drills on just shuffle and scrape.
Mm.
Kids
Mm.
are like, Coach, this is getting boring. I was like, it should be.
Right.
It should be because now it will become a habit.
Right.
I mean, one big thing I hate seeing with young linebacker coaches is every day you see a different drill. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what are they learning? So it's very mundane, but I'm a big, advocate of if it's not showing up on film, then either you're not teaching it right, they're not executing it right, and you need to spend more time on it.
Mm. Mm.
Then the next thing we move into for us is we move into block destruction. I only
Very
teach two
important.
techniques for this.
Okay.
For block destruction, I teach stun if
Mm.
you take on a block.
Mm.
Because I tell linebackers all the time, well, in our program, the goal is not to get blocked.
Yes.
If you're getting blocked, I'm giving you one way to get out of it, and that's it. We call it the stun technique. And it's where I'm taking on, if the blockers is here, I want to put my that blocker side foot in the split his crotch. I want to put this hand right in his chest. Then I want to get to the outside. Right, so I'm going to stun him. Then I'm going to get off of him right away. So I teach him how to rip through, how to throw arm over, and then replace the blocker. And that's the biggest part. Is once I get by him, is to replace him and get behind him, stack him. And then we teach slip, which a slip is if I'm trying to go, front side, I'm going to reduce my shoulder, get as low as to the ground as I can, and step through. If I'm slipping back door, it's the opposite way. But those are the only two ways I teach block destruction because I tell them all the time, the key is not for you to get blocked.
Right.
I think so sometimes, especially at the high school level, we neglect that where we're teaching them, hey, well, this is how you defeat the block. No, don't get blocked.
Yeah.
You're not blocked, you don't have to defeat it. And coming from the second level, you're the athlete. That old lineman is not the athlete. If he's climbing to you and you're shuffling or scraping, that means he's got to work a little bit harder. Now you got him in space, and you're the better athlete. So be the better athlete. So that's the big thing we talk about. Footwork, block destruction, and then the third one, which is the hardest one, and you have to spend the most time on. And this is where film work also comes in. Is where their eyes. Right, their eyes. Everybody has this argument about eyes. What I teach our guys, our inside guys, is first thing I got to identify is where's number 3, right? Because that's my past responsibility. 9 times out of 10, no matter what the coverage is, I'm responsible to relay to number 3. I need to find 3. The second one is the running back. Is he in a sidecar? Is he, on the side with depth? Is he in pistol? Why? Because his angles now, based on those 3 running back placements, now his angle of departure to get the ball changes. So that tells me whether I need to shuffle or I need to scrape. Because if he's in sidecar and he's right next to the quarterback, only place he can go is across the bow. So I need to know right now, okay, he's in sidecar. I'm going to have to scrape because when his shoulders turn, my hips are going to have to turn. If he's running, I got to run. If he's in that, offset position behind the quarterback, his path is downhill. So now I can shoot the gap. And then in pistol, same thing. You kind of got to be a little bit more patient. Third thing we identify is the quarterback. Is he under center or is he in the gun? If he's under center, the play action pass can suck me down deeper than it can when he's in the gun. So now I got to understand if I get sucked down now because I pre-snap already identified where 3 is. I know where my hips need to go now because my eyes were right. If the quarterback's in the gun, you can dictate where the ball's going based on where the running back is. And then the last and final one, which is the toughest of all of them when you talk about eyes, is that Y-off fullback position, right? He's the indicator, right? If we've got a Y off, and he swipes back across the formation, we got to fall back to, secondary gaps. So my eyes have to be able to follow him and follow the play.
Mm.
You know, when that Y off, is he split from the running back? Is he stacked with the running back? Because it gives me telltale, you know, signs of what a play can be. You know, if they're
Mm.
split, sometimes you're going to get that Y slice where he's going to slice
Mm.
back, running back's
Yep.
going to run home. If they're stacked, he's probably going to reach the guy on the outside, and they're probably trying to get outside. So
Mm-hmm.
when you put their eyes in the right spot, you know, you help them understand, okay, what footwork do I need to use and how fast do I need to be?
Mm.
And then the last one with the eyes is what's the read? It's been a argument since the test of football. Do you read the back? Do you read guards? Do you read the
Yeah.
triangle?
Mm-hmm.
I just tell the kids it's this simple. The guard in front of me is going to give me my initial step. So
Yes, he
if he
is.
steps down, you know, to my left, I'm going to shuffle to my left,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I call it, you know, high beam, low beam. He's the high beam. If there's no Y off, the guard is the high beam. He steps, now the high beam becomes the back, and
Mm.
my eyes move to the back. So teaching the
Mm.
kids like where their eyes are supposed to go and where they're
Mm.
supposed to be will speed them up and slow the game down.
Mm.
Because now every snap we talk about what do we identify pre-snap. I just kind of went through some of it, you know, but you know, based on your scheme, you can add things to it or you can take
Mm.
things off of it. But their eyes are the big picture. Let them see a picture, whether it's the guard or the running back, but let them give them a picture to look at so their eyes are in the right spot. Because too many times you ask, who are you looking at, the quarterback? Why? You know, the
Mm.
quarterback doesn't tell you anything.
Mm.
So for me, that's like grassroots. Like get their
Mm.
footwork correct. Give them two ways. One way if I'm getting blocked. One way if I'm not getting blocked yet. And then getting their eyes in the right position. And
Mm.
that start with. It don't matter if you've been in the program 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, or you're an incoming freshman. I mean, we're just going to spend time on those three things.
Mm. Now, nicely stated, Coach. Yeah, you checked all the boxes from what I see. So since you are on the college level, let me ask you this: what traits do you look for in linebackers, in high school linebackers, to execute your defensive scheme?
The first thing when I turn the film on with high school kids, I want to see physicality. Number one,
Mm. Okay. Okay.
because I get that. That's something I can't give you physicality.
Yeah.
I can't teach you how to. That's a mentality that you have to bring. So that's
Mm.
the first thing I'm looking to for. Is that guy when he's shooting gaps and he's making tackles? Is he getting knocked back or is he getting knocked back?
Mm.
Right? Because I mean, that's just the physicality trait. Then the just little tangible things that I look for is how good are their hips,
Mm.
right? Guys got just for some reason, and I kind of got an answer for it, but for some reason, a lot of guys get here and their hips are so tight. And then we're spending time getting the, you know, in the summer
Yeah.
getting their hips loose because
Yeah.
they can't shift, they can't plant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they can't open up. They can't cross over. It brings
Mm-hmm.
bad habits. So the second thing I look for is hip flexibility, and then just a relentless effort. Right, just a relentless effort. If you can do those three things, you can play for me because I'm gonna teach you everything else. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm old school in that manner. Is like I'm a teacher. Like I teach, um, and if you can do those three things, I can teach you everything else you need to do.
Yeah, well, you brought up a good point. And what usually happens in the high school level, um, basically, you have kids that are committed to the weight room and they love to lift weights. We want them to lift weights. However, a lot of them neglect the flexibility piece. So, the challenge that we as high school coaches always express to our players is, hey, do not lose your flexibility. Continue to learn how to bend your knees, sink your hips, right? We even encourage them to sign up for yoga classes or whatever they need to do to keep their mobility. That's the most important characteristic based off of what you share. Because if you have stiff hips, on that level, it's going to be hard to help your college defense in the run game but most importantly in the pass game, with the underneath coverage. So so it's pretty good that you put an emphasis on that. Let me ask you this. So how do you use linebackers within your pressure packages? Do you guys use your backers a lot blitzing, or are they bluffing and then dropping, or a combination of both?
All of the above.
Okay.
With us, and there's another presentation that I present: off ball, on ball, linebacker blitzing. It is a technique. It has to be worked on. If you're an on-ball backer, you're talking about your edges, outside backers, or when we do loop inside backers to the outside, there are things you have to understand, like how fast am I getting onto this lineman that I need to have my move ready, right? If when we double mug and walk guys up, hey, we tell them now you have to understand, like your move has to be ready right now. You don't have time you're coming from depth, and then you've got 2 to 3 seconds to make a move. Like you're having to make a move like now. So just understanding, being on the ball and being off the ball, and what my techniques are that I need to use, to get free. And then I talk extensively in the system, like when you're one-on-one with a back, when a running back steps up, either he can, if he stands there, we're just going to run right through him and walk over him. But, he may try to cut you. He may try to block you. So now I need to have a move in the toolbox, whether it be, I swim him, I rip him, I bull him and pull him. I need to have, tools in the toolbox too, because that's what we want, the back on the backer. And we got to win that one-on-one. It's not negotiable. We have to win.
And with the linebackers that I'm currently starting to see, a lot of them have those hurdling backgrounds, right, for the track and field team. So it's funny to hear you explain. It was funny to hear you explain the approach when it comes to linebackers rushing. And something that we try to explain to high school running backs is, hey, listen, like, you can't turn your shoulders, because that's gonna give you a two-way go. But if you're quick to drop to your knees and try to cut, these linebackers are gonna jump right over you, get in on the tackle, man. So so the linebacker play is very, very, very important, and the guys are very, very athletic. So thanks for pointing that out. Having a plan. So before I let you go, I love to ask this question, especially to college coaches. What advice would you give an assistant coach looking to advance in their coaching career?
Man, it's bet on yourself, but also understand that you're going to have to sacrifice something. And for younger guys, that's the hard part, because guys have gotten married, or they started a family, and at these lower levels, D2, D3, NAIA, there's not a whole lot of money involved in it. Yeah. So you're gonna have to sacrifice something, or your significant other has to understand the sacrifice. That, hey, I'm gonna have to do this for a couple of years, and then money may come. But at this level, like if it's not an intense love for football, for being around kids, for mentoring them, then you might want to stay at high school. And that's the hardest part, is because in high school, you're a teacher, you're in the building, you're making salary. Then you're, only getting paid a stipend for, coaching high school football. And you could be making anywhere from 70 to 100K, depending on where you're at in the nation. And then you come to a place, right here, you're making like 20,000, 30,000 a year. You gotta, like I said, you gotta be, the understanding is that you're going to have to sacrifice something.
And it sounds to me like you and your family have to be on the same page, whatever that page is, so that there's no surprises.
No, none. Because we see guys that are rough. Like, truth be told, we're in our off season, and we got a ton of coaches that are out working jobs during the day, and then they come in and do their recruiting stuff. in the late afternoon because there's not a lot of money in it.
Yeah, got it.
Luckily, I'm just, being retired military, I'm not hurting for money.
Right. Great advice, Coach. We truly appreciate your time. Well, thank you for listening to the All Season 365 podcast. I'm Coach Simmons here with Coach Gant. Man, we signing off.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections.